Agents, we've recovered 5 of the hostages taken in the attack on the White House. But with each member of our community, we learn Natalya Sokolova is not the murderous psychopath we assumed. I don't know if it's General Anderson's influence over her organization, or if spending her life on the move is getting to her, but it appears that the Black Tusk have adopted the True Sons tactics and are looking to shore up infrastructure and build something. What that something is, it's too early to tell without Vic. As Murray says, he knows her organization. He helped build it. Agents, if we want to rebuild the castle and know what Sokolova is really up to, we need to get Vic and unmask the asset. Cindy McAllister was raised in a household with strong military ties and was the youngest of 6 siblings. With 5 older brothers, Cindy was one of the boys and developed a keen passion for gaming. Following her enlistment in the army, she found her niche within the National Guard as a drone pilot. After the outbreak, she would join the Joint Task Force, and due to her excellence, she would quickly be recruited by the division. In this position, she would assist agents in scouting various locations, warning the agents of lurking threats and potential ambushes. When the Russian scientist Vitaly Tronenko emerged once again, this time on Coney Island, Cindy maneuvered a remote drone, collaborating with the division agents to orchestrate JTF forces, ensuring the successful location and extraction of Tronenko. In the face of fierce resistance from the Black Tusk, she hacked into their mortars, turning their weaponry against them. Following the successful extraction of Tronenko by the division agents, Cindy identified the remaining Black Tusk operators currently under siege by the Cleaners. Her guidance directed the agents to the heart of the amusement park, allowing them to neutralize all hostile units. But as the agents removed the last of the opposing forces, her drone was suddenly hacked by the rogue agent, Aaron Keener. Before the drone was destroyed, Keener sent his message to the agents, claiming that he will continue to be one step ahead of them. Following these events, Manny would pull Cindy aside.
Are you ready to talk about what happened at Coney Island?
There's nothing to talk about, Manny. I did what I had to do to get the job done. Your agent is back safe and sound, mission accomplished.
You used mortars and almost got everyone killed.
I took the enemy's toys away from them, and we found out about Keener's involvement. That's a win.
That's a war crime.
You gonna take me to The Hague?
I'm worried about you, Cindy.
I'm fine. We have work to do. If we're going after Keener, you're gonna need a good drone operator.
Kelso is going after Keener. You're staying here until I know what the hell to do with you.
You're not my supervisor. You don't get to make that call.
You're right. No one is really in charge. But you're my friend, and I'm worried about you. I want you to talk to Dr. Billings.
You think I'm crazy?
I think you've had to disconnect from the daily horror we see to survive it. And it's starting to change you in ways that make me concerned.
And if this doctor clears me, can I go to New York?
If Mitch says you're good to go, I won't stop you.
Deal.
Cindy would head off to see Dr. Mitchell Billings and attempt to gain approval to join Kelso in New York City.
How you doing, Cindy?
Oh, just great, you know? All sunshine and rainbows. It's like life is so beautiful it's perpetual summer. You don't have to worry about your unemployed drone operator. How do you think I'm doing?
Disappointed and tired.
So, you talked to Dr. Billings. I thought those meetings were confidential.
He didn't tell me anything he wasn't supposed to. I know you. I know your tired face. I know you must be disappointed and you're still here, so he clearly did not give you permission to go to New York with Kelso.
So, what? Are you a detective now, too? What? Were you bored and needed another job?
How can I help?
You can't help. I'm broken, and everything I normally do to forget I'm broken, I'm not allowed to do anymore, so here we are.
You need a hobby.
No, I don't.
You need to spend some time with real people. Get out from behind the screen. Go touch some grass or help Mel with the farm.
The only farming I've done is crypto.
That's great. You've already got farm experience.
No, Manny. That's not what it means. Never mind. I guess I could give it a try. Cindy, I need your help with something. Good to see you, too. How was your summer? Mine was great, thanks. Sorry. You're right. How are you? You know, the usual. Trying to stay positive in the face of impending disaster. We're trying to grow tomatoes in the fall. This seems like it Might be a mistake.
Your what?
Manny, you want to update Kelso? I need to get back to the castle. What the hell is going on? What's wrong with Cindy?
Nothing is wrong. She just needed to take a break.
But we need her. She's our eye in the sky.
If Paul's reports are correct, you've gotten pretty good at being the eye in the sky.
I'm not as good as Cindy, and I can't be in the field if I'm doing recon.
That's true. Another very good reason to keep Cindy on farm duty.
Farm duty? I thought that was a joke.
Now, wait until you try the tilapia and tomato salad. I promise you, Mari's cooking is no joke.
Mari? Who the fuck is Mari?
So Cindy has now been reassigned to the castle settlement. Manny thinks that some time away from computer monitors will do her some good. Unfortunately, poor Kelso, who's been away in New York, she has missed a lot of what's been going on in DC.
Cindy, I'd like you to meet your newest recruit, Wally.
Nice to meet you, Wally. Any special skills I should know about for job placement?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay. Engineer, computers, helped run a nuclear power plant for the last 6 months, so infrastructure and power.
How are you at puzzles?
Great. Love them. The more impossible to solve, the better.
I recovered this encrypted file from a hunter drone. Haven't been able to break the encryption. Maybe you could take a stab at it?
Oh, sure. Is that my job now?
If you can crack the encryption.
Sweet. I was a little worried you were gonna put me to work shucking corn or some bullshit.
You're an engineer. If you're going into food production, I'd put you on the aquaponics system.
You got a fish farm?
We do.
You should be resting.
This is my job. Go do your job. Go get our people back, Manny. If you're not gonna do that, you're not the man I thought you were.
I love you.
I love you too. Go. Do your job. Before it's too late.
Manny, come in. This is Agent Johnson. I've got a lead on the recruiter.
This is Manny. Good to hear from you, Agent Johnson. It's been a while. Honestly, I thought you were dead.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I was following up on a lead about the Arnolds and got word the recruiter was moving Vic to a secure location.
That's great. At least we know they're still alive.
If the rumors are true, Sokolova is putting them to work. She's not interested in assassinating them so much as what they can do for her.
I'm not sure which is worse. She thinks she can turn our people to her side, or that it might be working. Agent, get ready. We have a lead.
Agent Johnson has found a lead on Cindy's whereabouts. He has tracked her to the East Mall district. The first location Johnson sends the agents to is the Metro ruins. There are reports Cindy has been spotted nearby. Agents roll up to the control point and are immediately greeted by hordes of Black Tusk soldiers. Fortunately, some much-needed help would come along, as the JTF would assist in gaining control of the compound. The agents would eventually clear out the hostile presence, including the elimination of 2 Black Tusk leaders, and this is when Agent Johnson would provide an update on Cindy's position.
System reactivated.
Black Tusk are moving down Independence Avenue southwest.
Well done. Pulled through. Nice work.
Agents track the Black Tusk movement down to a large building complex in the northeastern side of the district. After killing a handful of guards on the street, they make their way into the building. Fighting through, they come across one of the first Black Tusk leaders on site, but they wouldn't find this much of a challenge as they steam forward. After killing what seemed like an infinite wave of hostiles, the final target would eventually make themselves known. But because the agents spent far too much time fluffing around or getting lost, the enemy target would eventually end up leaving their fortified position and coming to them. But this wouldn't help them much. They took no time dealing with them, and once eliminated, Johnson would once again be heard over the comms.
Hostile radio intercepted.
We need someone with programming experience at the solar farm. I'm just a drone operator. Cindy, you're not just a drone operator. You're so much more than that. At least, you could be. I see your potential. Please don't diminish your talent.
Agent, get to the solar farm. Sokolova is trying to manipulate Cindy. Flattery won't work with her. She's smarter than that.
Agents quickly made their way over to the solar farm in hopes that they would be able to intercept the Black Tusk before they once again move on with Cindy. In a calculated and coordinated assault, the agents stormed the control point, engaging in a firefight against the entrenched Black Tusk forces. But with JTF backup, the agents were able to push through the wave of Black Tusk that continued to trickle out of the facility. After removing the leader and then defending the site from a heavy pushback by the Black Tusk attempting to reclaim the site, the agents once again hear from Johnson.
Agent, Cindy's spotting at the Museum of Native Peoples. Hopefully the water's still on. I used to love that place.
Making their way over to the museum, just slightly south of their position, the agents track a unit of Black Tusk who are suspected of holding Cindy. After clearing the guards out front, they ascend several floors into the building, where they are met by another huge group of hostile soldiers. Making their way to the roof, they continue to take down members of this Black Tusk unit until eventually the leader would make himself known. Upon elimination, Johnson would update the agents on the next location.
Agent, we've located Cindy McAllister. She's at the Air and Space Museum. I don't know what Sokolova wants with her, but Cindy is one of us. She can't be turned.
It was clear that the agents had caught up with them, as there were vast numbers of elite Black Tusk that were spewing out from an entranceway located under the compound. It's at this point that I must apologize to a Mr. Stick for not being able to assist. Based on your username, I'd say there likely wouldn't be a lot in the way of conversations we could have that would be appropriate for YouTube. The agents continued to push through the facility, climbing up into different levels, clearing wave after wave. In some areas, the agents felt that their more defensive style of build choice was just feeling a little bit slow, with other areas feeling like they were just running around in circles. Wait, what did he say? Yeah, I'm just going to assume that I'm hearing that wrong. Continuing to push through the onslaught of Black Tusk that were being thrown at them, they would eventually come across several of their leaders that have bunkered down throughout the facility. Once the final leader had been dropped, JTF would move in and rescue Cindy, taking her back to the castle.
Thanks for the rescue, Agent. It's super weird to be on this side of the mission.
Glad you're safe, Cindy. Agent, meet us back at the castle.
Thanks for the rescue, Agent. I know you must think of me as silly Cindy, the drone operator, and sometimes trigger-happy mortar operator, but I promise, I like my new job better. It's a better fit. So if you need someone to recruit, I'm your recruiter.
Cindy's new job is finding roles for people new to the castle settlement. So yes, as she was trolling us there, she technically is the recruiter in the recruitment section of the castle settlement, but not the actual hunter recruiter we're looking for. Or is she? No, I really don't think she is.
Cindy, it's good to have you back.
Please don't hug me. You look like you're gonna hug me.
Are you okay?
I've been better. I've been worse. I'm ready to get back to work and pretend this shit never happened. Doc Billings won't be happy, but I'm good.
Thank you. Wally could use your help. We've been having issues with the mobile shade server.
What kind of issues?
I have no idea. The computer thing was never really my area.
I'll talk to Wally.
It really is good to see you.
You too, Manny.
So Cindy was our drone operator. She would make some questionable calls, and it was discovered that she wasn't coping with everything going on and needed to step down and take on some different responsibilities. Cindy would then be captured as part of the Black Tusk attack, and Natalya would try to sway her to work on other systems. However, the agents were able to track her down with the help of Agent Johnson and bring her home. Nothing huge to pull apart here. Like I mentioned in the other video, I really don't trust Agent Johnson and how he has suddenly turned up, but I suspect we'll hear more about him later. Something that was mentioned at the start of this rescue, and then once again at the end, was the problems they seem to be having with the mobile SHD server.
Hey, Agent. It's Wally. Agent Johnson found a lead on Cindy. Good thing the network is stable. The mobile shade server's been a little touchy.
The mobile SHD server is the reason we were quickly able to bounce back after the attack on the White House. Natalya had also attacked one of the SHD cores and then taken down the division network. This means that none of the agent technology would work. No skills, no HUD, no communication, and no Isaac. However, we had the mobile SHD server. It's unclear how many of them we have, but the network has gone down a couple of times now because of attacks, and without the mobile server, the agents would have been severely hindered. So while this seems like something minor right now, I believe the mobile server issues could lead to something larger much later on. Before the outbreak of the green poison, Mel established himself as a skilled writer, releasing non-fiction literature centered around the green and sustainable living. Additionally, he delved into crafting fictional narratives that embodied those eco-friendly principles. Certain enthusiasts perceived Mel's writings as a guiding beacon, offering insights into constructing a more promising tomorrow. A certain fan, Cassandra Rains, exhibited an unstable obsession, passionately urging Mel to align with her cause. Those who don't recognize this name, Cassandra Rains was featured in the Division Compromise novel, where Rains would lead a group of environmental extremists who were dead set on helping the world repair. Their first targets were Texan oil refineries. They want to see the world free from fossil fuels. However, it was these fuels that were also the lifeline to helping the truckies supply various settlements of survivors with food and supplies.
Manny, have you sent anyone to check on Proteus? Proteus? The JTF squad you sent to Kenley College? Last week we haven't heard from them in 3 days. That's not right. I didn't send anyone to Kenley College. Well, someone did. They took a mobile shade server with them, and they should be in contact with your agents. You really haven't heard anything? I'm sorry, no. I haven't heard anything about Kenley College. What's the name of the squad leader? Jack Arnold? And what's your name? Mel Arnold? Jack, your brother? My wife? Okay, thanks, Mel. I'll see what I can do. Where's Jack? I'm sorry, we haven't heard anything back from the team. Well, then send another team to get him. We don't have those kind of resources. Then find them. I wish I could. Either you value your people, or you don't. You don't just send people on a mission and then leave them to die, especially not someone like Jack. We're doing the best we can. You mean the division? I'm sorry, but we can't just send agents on a wild goose chase to the middle of nowhere. You've got a helicopter, you've got a location, you've got a target. Proteus, your missing JTF squad. That is not a wild goose chase, Manny. Agents choose their missions. Ultimately, it's not up to me. I'm just a coordinator. But you decide if they know she's missing. You decide what missions agents know about. Don't pretend there isn't power and responsibility in that. Jack is JTF. You used to be JTF. You're not Division, Manny. You have the power to bring our girl home if you decide to give a shit about the people and not the mission.
As a quick refresher, Task Force Proteus was a JTF squad that was established to scavenge any supplies they could find in DC. After several weeks, the convoy came across Kenley College. Jack decided to investigate the campus to see what they could find, but would end up getting ambushed by the Outcasts. The Outcasts killed 99% of the JTF in the convoy and looted the supplies, including military-grade servers, encrypted radio handsets, chemicals, explosives, a JTF engineer, and a mobile SHD server.
You wanted to see me? Thank you for coming, Mel. What do you want, Manny? To apologize. You're right. I forgot where I came from. I got too focused on the big picture. I started to forget about the people I'm responsible for. Thank you. Any update on Jack? Yes.
Mel.
Are you serious?
Manny sent his agents to get me.
Are you hurt?
I'll be fine.
What the hell happened?
Outcasts followed us to the college.
I thought I lost you.
Me too.
Let's get you cleaned up. Thank you, Manny.
As Manny rebuilds the castle settlement, he recruits the united Mel and Jack to run food production and storage.
You look happy. What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong.
Just had a meeting with Manny about reclaiming the castle.
We're gonna set up some long-term food security there, a farm and storage.
Seriously? Yeah? You're not worried you're going to get bored?
Frankly, I invite boring. You want us to find a job on the farm for you? Could be fun, getting your hands dirty.
I'm good. Kind of trying to keep my hands clean and not take on too much.
Sounds like someone has been talking to Billings.
I can neither confirm nor deny that his sessions are helping. I kind of hate that they're helping. It's okay to admit that you need help. And it's super okay to admit that therapy helps. It's not therapy, just counseling. Whatever helps you sleep at night, sweetie. If you need a new laptop, we recovered a case of them from Odia. Vic's lead panned out. I still can't believe we're working with that guy. I thought he was such an asshole.
Oh, he's still an asshole, but now he's a helpful asshole.
He's our asshole.
Can you all stop calling me an asshole? You know I can hear you, right?
Agents receive intelligence on Mel's possible location at the taxi graveyard in the Foggy Bottom district of Washington, D.C. They mobilize quickly and find the outpost heavily defended by True Sun soldiers. Once the hostiles were cleared and the compound secured, it quickly became evident that Mel was no longer on site. It was at that moment that Agent Johnson suddenly announced the increase of Black Tusk activity at the greenhouse. The agents redirect their focus and set off towards the southern side of the district. Proceeding through the front door, the building looks abandoned. However, once they had made it through to the courtyard, several True Suns could be seen dotted around. The agents quickly maneuver through the courtyard and engage the True Suns. It was clear that there were more than just a few hostiles on site, but fortunately the agents had brought along their new toy, the Orberus. They never really stood a chance. After climbing another flight of stairs, they eventually come face to face with a Black Tusk high-value target. Once eliminated, a hostile comms was intercepted.
Hostile radio intercepted.
You feeling okay, Mel? Yeah, I just need to rest. We should be safe at Navy Hill.
You heard him, Agent. Get to Navy Hill.
Agents swiftly converge on the compound. The True Suns have fortified the area, but the agents, undeterred, navigate the barricades and overcome wave after wave of hostile forces. Their perseverance pays off as they successfully neutralize two prominent leaders within the True Suns' ranks.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Hello? Is anyone there? They're keeping me at Columbia Plaza. Agent, if you can hear this, please get me the hell out of here.
Agents confront fierce resistance from the True Suns upon arriving at the entrance of the Columbia Plaza broadcast. With determination, they navigate the structure, eliminating all hostiles they encounter. Eventually, they would face off against the True Sun leader. Once eliminated, Johnson's voice would once again be heard over the earpieces.
We tracked Mel Arnold to Roosevelt Island. I have no idea why Sokolova would take them there.
Diving straight in there, the agents waste no time charging onto Roosevelt Island.
Mel is a civvy. They never should have been put in this position.
As they delve deeper into the facility, waves of enemies grow in size and intensity.
You're mine!
Pushing through the compound, eliminating countless hostiles, another enemy communication would be intercepted.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Do you need anything? Fertilizer, maybe. The crops look hungry.
Crops?
The agents continue their relentless advance, battling through room after room, facing a horde of True Sun soldiers. But the agents are undeterred, making precise shots and effortlessly dispatching enemies left and right. As they push deeper into the island, they finally come face to face with the formidable True Sun leader who joins the fight. Except when I say face to face, I actually mean he was miles away. And when I say formidable, I actually didn't even know it was a leader. He just died really fast. But you get the point.
Area secure.
What the hell's going on? That's what I'd like to know. Agent, meet us back at the castle.
I can't believe you took the time to find me. I'm impressed Manny would make the effort. I'm just a farmer now. I guess he hasn't forgotten the JTF and the Division are supposed to work for the people after all.
Mel, have you seen Agent Johnson? No, why? I wanted to talk to him about the recruiter. Worried the issues with the mobile shade server are connected somehow. I'm fine. No lingering trauma from being kidnapped by the Black Tusk, thank you for asking. Oh, sorry. How are you? Good. You know, apparently still your conscience, and I need to remind you to stop focusing on the conspiracy that isn't there, and instead focus on the people in front of you that you have volunteered to keep safe. Yeah, you're right. I can't believe I lost them. You got him back. I saw Mari. She looks great. Seemed pissed at you, but she looked great. Yeah, I'm working on fixing things there too. Maybe you should stop trying to fix things and just do your job. Go get our people back. So, you talked to Mari? I did. But I want to talk to Jack. Do your job and get my wife back again.
Like all of the others, Manny catches up with Mel after he is safely brought home to the castle. Somewhat annoyingly, Manny is once again being told by Mel that he needs to focus on the people in front of him, not the larger mission at play. I understand. If his job is just to look after the settlements, especially the castle settlement, this should be his main concern. But he is currently still a coordinator for the Division. The bigger picture around the recruiter, Sokolova, the Black Tusk, and Calvin McManus absolutely should be at the forefront of his mind. With Murray and his future family, maybe it's time for Manny to step down as the coordinator, and for someone who isn't quite so close and emotionally invested in the people within the settlement to take over and keep the Division moving towards the bigger goals. Jack Arnold is a JTF specialist and was the squad leader for Proteus. Task Force Proteus was established to scour the streets of DC and scavenge any supplies they could find. After several weeks, the convoy came across Kenley College. Unfortunately, they weren't the first ones to visit the campus. The outcasts had set up camp there, and it wasn't long before Task Force Proteus found themselves in the middle of an ambush. The outcasts killed 99% of the JTF in the convoy, and looted the supplies, including military-grade servers, encrypted radio handsets, chemicals, explosives, a JTF prisoner, and a mobile SHD server. Jack would be one of the lucky few who survived, but as a hostage, she'll be forced to build improvised explosive devices for the outcasts. Agents would eventually go on to rescue Jack from Kenley College and reunite them with their partner, Mel. Since returning to DC, Jack has been monitoring intel collected by the mobile SHD server, whilst also managing the castle's food storage.
I don't know why they followed us.
Mel said you took a mobile shade server.
Yeah, so we can stay in contact with your agents. It's how I send the distress call. But I think we were out of range.
The network went down. We had to get it back up and running before we got the call.
Shit. What did I miss?
Too much. I can let Mel fill you in later.
What happened to the agent who sent us to Kenley?
Agent?
Yeah. He was supposed to meet us there, but he never showed. He told us to bring the server.
Do you remember his name?
John? Tom? Richardson? Honestly, I don't remember. It was a pretty generic white boy name.
No worries. We can check the logs.
Are we done here?
Yeah.
Can I go see Mel now?
I asked them to meet us here.
Thank you. Anything else I should know about? Other than the network going down?
Oh, not much. Agents recovered President Ellis. The hyenas had him. He tried to stage a military coup. He's with the Black Tusk. It's complicated.
In a post-rescue briefing with Manny, Jack explains that they had an SHD server on them so they could keep in contact with the Division. Of course, this was at a time when the full SHD network had been taken down, so no one back at the base of operations received their distress call. Jack had obviously been held captive for quite some time, as she was oblivious to all of the major events that had been playing out. One interesting thing she mentions here is that it was an agent who sent Task Force Proteus to Kenley, and if we remember from Mel's rescue, Manny had no idea why and who sent them there. So this agent, while still in DC, was working completely separately to the team our agents had been working with up until now. On top of this, it was him who told her to bring the server, yet he never showed up when the outcasts sprung their trap. Jack wasn't able to name the agent, but I would place a fairly solid bet on it being someone who we've only recently started interacting with. But why he would do this? I don't know. I have my suspicions, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on.
Hey, Manny. Thanks for meeting with me.
You wanted to show me something?
Yeah. When we turned the mobile shade server back on, we recovered some files. They seemed important and maybe something you wouldn't want everyone to know about.
What kind of files?
Recordings, mostly. Conversations between a defense contractor and someone named Cal.
Do you have them with you?
I copied part of one over before we had to charge the server. When we turned it back on, the original recordings were gone. And there was new intel. Someone talking about a play. It was weird. The server must have been damaged back at Kenley.
Can we hear the one you have?
Sure. It's not much, but this is what we managed to record before the battery died.
Well, I know our pockets aren't as deep as yours. Hopefully you'll play nice in the bidding war today.
Oh, Cal. I don't want to start a war with you. Sorry, I know it's not much, but it seemed important if it was on the server.
Thanks, Jack. Honestly, I don't know what to do with that. But if you get any more files, try and record them before you reboot the server.
Will do.
Jack provides Manny an update on the mobile SHD server. She's having trouble collecting information and suspects it may have been damaged at Kenley, as it only has partial messages and some are being lost after rebooting. For anyone not aware, that one part that was played was actually the very first descent comms that drops. It's Kelvin McManus and Natalya Sokolova meeting with Ortiz Robotics to discuss the new AI they've been working on, Isaac. The other one she mentioned, about a play, is actually another one we hear later on, that is part of a number of discussions between Kelvin and an NSA analyst who discovered early signs of concern regarding Gordon Amherst.
Another recording?
Yeah, we've got a name on the mystery woman.
Great. Let's hear it.
Natalya Sokolova. As I live and breathe.
Cal, is it wrong that I expected you to die in the first wave?
Not at all, Nat. Most of my colleagues and those bureaucrats did. You'd think being at ground zero would have been a death sentence. Turns out I had the infrastructure in place to weather the storm.
Well, I'm glad to see you're thriving given the conditions.
You're not doing too bad yourself, Nat.
I'm not.
How's our boy?
Officially installed as president since Mendez was taken care of.
Good. Good.
And now presumed dead since Air Force One crashed and we never recovered his body.
Presumed dead or confirmed dead?
Presumed. I've got him squirreled away until he's ready to play ball. He forgot his place in this organization and started to make some decisions on his own.
Can't have the puppets doing the puppeteering.
Exactly.
Jack manages to extract another recording. This one is from after the outbreak and the first wave had been activated and subsequently fell. Kelvin actually confirms that most of his colleagues and the political structure in the White House have fallen to the green poison, and that he is one of the last ones left. This actually answers a few questions around where he is currently sitting in the presidential line of succession in present day. This comms also confirms that he is well aware and involved in the Black Tusk having taken care of the former president in order to place Ellis in his place. It would appear that this is around the time where Ellis was having second thoughts about his allegiance with Natalya, which actually wasn't too long before Fei Lau had him killed. Kelvin and Natalya had been working on this for a long time. She was surprised he wasn't dead from the outbreak, but they certainly seemed to have been planning this for a while. Agents receive intel that Jack could be being held at the Washington Monument in the West Potomac Park district of DC. Calling in for JTF support, they storm the control point. There they find the monument riddled with True Sun and Black Tusk soldiers. Once cleared, the hostiles would attempt a counterattack, but this would prove fruitless as the agents hunkered down and picked them off at range. Although Jack was nowhere to be seen on site, a hostile comms that was intercepted would tell the agents that Jack has recently been at the medical camp.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Vic? Where are they taking us?
The medical camp.
What? Why?
Who knows? Maybe to make sure we're not infected. Maybe to feed us to the troops. They look hungry.
Vic is not funny.
Rogue agent detected.
After dispatching a surprise group of rogues who were taking advantage of the distraction, agents would quickly move northwest of their position. Tracking down target Vladimir Monk Davis, the agents hope to intercept the Black Tusk movements before they once again are able to move Jack to another location. Fighting through his henchmen and sniper doggos, they would eventually meet up with him in the center of a long-since abandoned Sarah camp. While his bodyguards proved to be a little tougher than they had anticipated, the agents fought through and would pick up another hostile communications.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Where's Vic? Don't worry about him. He's someone else's problem now. I'm not gonna lie. The mast is a hell of a lot more peaceful without him here. Sorry, Vic.
Confirmed. I've got eyes on Jack at the mast.
While they were once again too late, the mast control point wasn't far away, so they wasted no time moving on. The agents once again called in for support from the JTF. Unfortunately, this time they seemed to be getting a little bit distracted by something that was obviously more important on the streets outside of the compound, so the agents were on their own. Finding a favorable position overlooking the entrances, they were able to lock down the area and pick off any incoming hostiles. Once eliminated, Agent Johnson could be heard over the earpieces.
Agent, we tracked Jack to the site of crashed drone. We'll get you the coordinates.
After Johnson sent through the coordinates, the agents wasted no time in moving and forcing their hand, of which they really brought something to the table that they certainly weren't expecting. Ah, crap. Moving through the drone crash site, they would meet heavy Black Tusk resistance, which would have the agents questioning the gear they chose to use in this hunt. But regardless, they pushed through. It wouldn't be long before the main hostile target in the area would be spotted, and after effortlessly disposing of the Black Tusk soldiers, they would take him down, once again being alerted by Agent Johnson to a new location that Jack was last spotted.
I need to swap this server out!
Agent, we've located Jack Arnold at Capitol Hill.
Jack Arnold's last known location was at the hostile stronghold of Capitol Hill. Rushing on in there, the agents find themselves surrounded on multiple sides. Perhaps the less than stealthy apparel they choose to wear was working against them.
Jack's still pretty messed up after what happened at Kenley College, but she's found her footing since the outcasts abducted her.
Leading up towards the Capitol building, they were met with huge resistance, including headshot stack-destroying warhounds, but they pushed through with superior drone surveillance and accuracy. Deep into the building, they found themselves completely encircled by Black Tusk forces. But while ducking in and out of cover, taking pinpoint shots on their opponents, which actually means very little because they were using the extremely overpowered determined talent, they were able to force the hostile command out of their entrenchment. The Black Tusk leader spent more time announcing their presence in the fight than firing her weapon, and the agents would in turn be awarded by another exotic component to be added to their resource pool. After clearing out the rest of the opposition, the agents would learn that Brian Johnson and the JTF have managed to extract Jack and take her back to the castle.
Area secure.
I'll get Jack back to the castle. Nice work, Agent.
What's wrong with the server?
You should really go find Mel. They're worried sick about you.
I will, as soon as you tell me what the hell is going on with the server.
It's having trouble connecting to the network. Range is spotty, like something is interfering with it, maybe overloading it.
Since when? Since the attack?
No, since we got Murray back.
Who's working on it?
Cindy and Wally. Brian said he'd take a look, but I honestly don't know how much help he can be.
We fixed it. The server was stable. There was nothing wrong with it. Are you sure it started acting up after Murray came back?
It was fine that night, and then in the morning it started acting up.
Anything else strange happen?
Nothing really. Agent Johnson came back, but he's been trying to help us fix it. Maybe it was damaged in the attack and we just didn't notice.
After Jack's second rescue, Manny catches up with her for a debrief. Sadly for her husband, Mel, she is more concerned about the mobile SHD server and what's happening with it. But this is obviously because she is more than aware of the potentially valuable intel it holds, that she has already almost lost her life to. While it looks like there are connection issues, it was pointed out and then confirmed that this only started happening after Mari Singh was rescued and brought back home. In her absence, Cindy, Wally, and even Agent Johnson have been working on a fix. Jack proclaims that it was working fine before the attack and then her capture, so why would it start acting up now after Mari got back? And this is a fair question, but I don't think Mari has anything to do with it, as it was also during this time that Agent Johnson suddenly appeared. Do I think this is related? Yes, I absolutely do. But let's get back to this in a second.
It's been a while.
Yeah, sorry about that. Been busy setting up the farm and the food storage. We haven't done a sync on the server in a while.
What did you find?
Nat, I'd like you to meet the recruiter.
The recruiter?
For my hunter's replacement. He's going to be responsible for Bonnie's test. Make sure he's as good as you say he is, and ready to join our little organization.
Right. Nice to meet you, Mr. Recruiter.
Hunters have been instructed not to speak. You never know who's listening and what kind of voice recognition software they have running.
You're paranoid, Cal.
Rather be paranoid than wrong.
Well, you've made it this far without being discovered, so maybe there is something to your methods, Cal.
That's quite the compliment coming from you, Nat. You get this man to a Faraday cage and you can get to know him better. Until then, please inform your Black Tusk to only address my agent as the recruiter.
This piece of intel is much closer to present day, where Jack has long since been recovered from Kenley College and has fully taken on a new role in the castle settlement. The comms talk about Natalya being introduced to the recruiter before our first viewing of him, where Bonnie was being tested to see whether he was suitable for the Hunter program. There isn't anything huge to dissect here, but it does answer a few of the much wider theories I've seen floating around about the Hunters. We're now learning why the Hunters don't talk. It's not that they can't, it's that they shouldn't. So, there is a lot to process here. When I was told by the narrative director that I would enjoy what this rescue would bring to our attention, she absolutely wasn't wrong. At this stage, at least through what I'm seeing, it would be fair to have all fingers pointed at Agent Johnson right now. While I do believe he is playing a part in sabotaging the mobile SHD server, I'm not completely convinced that he is the recruiter. I can't even give any solid reason for this, it's just that something doesn't quite add up for me here. I just see him as a soldier who is extremely loyal to Kelvin. Kelvin has him planted within to help with removing any proof that he can get his hands on that shows certain interactions that may paint Kelvin in a less than favourable light. He mentioned that most of his colleagues have been taken out by the green poison, and now that Alice is dead, he could be the next in line. Being rogue doesn't mean what it used to, and it's looking more now that instead we have two groups of agents fighting for two different sides. Technically we could be the rogues because we aren't reporting to any sort of authority, where Brian Johnson is potentially reporting to the president. But how does it change everything if we know that the president got there through, let's say, far less than ethical means? It's definitely a save what remains and desperate times call for desperate measures type situation. However, I feel there could be a slight turn in our favour coming up. In a couple of weeks' time, we'll be unmasking the recruiter. Given the help that he provided Mari during her rescue, will he be our way in? Before the green poison outbreak, Vic Melik, better known as Vic, or Vic the Dick, was the CEO of Odia Electronics. Once an ally, turned Black Tusk puppet, and then once again an ally, he isn't exactly someone who can be trusted. But like everyone else, he brings his own expertise and experience that elevates the people around him, especially in relation to energy infrastructure. Vic always thinks he's the smartest person in the room, even though this is rarely true. However, he does have some very strong connections in the military-industrial complex, including Ortiz Robotics, Kelvin McManus, and Natalya Sokolova.
Stop! Keep your hands where I can see them.
Don't shoot. I'm unarmed.
State your business.
I need assistance and lodging. I haven't eaten in days.
Look, I've never seen you before. I can't just let you in. Can anyone vet you?
Manny Ortega.
Wait there.
This is Manny.
Hey, Manny. Sorry to bother you. Got a stranger here says you can vet him?
What's his name?
What's your name?
Vikram Malik.
Vikram Malik?
Take him into custody. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
Oh, good. Guess I left an impression. I'm unarmed. I'm not a threat.
We'll see about that.
This was sometime after Vikram had betrayed us the first time and left us to be ambushed by the hyenas. It would appear that he hadn't quite managed to get what he needed in order to survive in this new world and would come crawling back to society. Of course, Vikram isn't really a name you can forget, so Manny ordered his immediate arrest.
What happened, Vic? Same old story. Fell in with a bad crowd, friends used peer pressure. You make some bad choices and end up regretting that decision and hope it's not too late to change. You led my agents into a trap. Technically, I didn't know it was a trap until I had to spring it. I can't trust you, Melik. I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to align with me against a mutual enemy. Natalya Sokolova? Her too. If you're talking about Schaefer, this conversation is over. I'm talking about Cal. What do you know about McManus? How do you think I met Natalya? You know how they say there are 6 degrees of separation to anyone in the world? Sure. Well, for rich assholes in D.C., there is 3. And if you have defense contracts, it's 1. Calvin McManus. You give me intel on McManus and Sokolova, and we protect you from the Hunters and Black Tusk. That's your offer? You also get my charming personality, superior intellect, and access to Odia tech. I'm sure you could use some power solutions as we move into winter. Let's see what intel you have before you start making promises you can't keep. Hey, you got the batteries. I never lied to you about the batteries. I just didn't tell you about the system wipe.
While being interrogated by Manny, Vic would go on to tell him about the fact that he'd been working with a bad crowd and almost immediately regretted it. So once he was able, he escaped and made his way towards a JTF-controlled settlement. It would turn out that he had been working for Natalya since all the way back then, but also Calvin McManus. Given the obviously valuable intel he has, Manny makes him a deal in return for his safety.
System purge complete. I did what you asked. I purged all records of your involvement with Odia. Do we have a deal or not? Just 2 more things, and then I know I can trust you, Vic. Fine. Trigger the alarms and read your lines. Nat, I can't read that. I'll sound like an asshole. If you want my help, you'll find a way. God damn it. Fine. Oh, and do your best to sound sincere. I'll try. I know that's hard for you. Oops! I seem to have tripped the alarm. Every hyena inside 2 blocks is probably on their way here to investigate.
This is actually back when Vic was in the process of screwing us over, quite some time ago now. The whole reason he was wiping the systems was to hide Natalya's involvement with Odia. Like always, Natalya was pulling the strings and ordering him to do everything on the fly. It was her who forced him to trigger the alarm, and even forced him to say what he said. I wouldn't go as far as to say that he isn't an arsehole. He's maybe just not quite as big an arsehole as we thought he was. Kinda.
Cal! Great to see you again.
Vic, what have you got for me today?
Solar-powered relay stations for all your off-site tactical power needs.
This your idea or Birdie's?
Birdie's brain, my money.
So you get all the credit. Love it.
You want to place an order? You've got competition on my production line if you want to get this out to your troops to test next spring.
I'll let Natalya take the R&D hit. She can afford it. What I really need are autonomous power sources that can either be self-sustaining using solar, wind, hydro, or geothermal, whichever is more appropriate for the region, that needs little to no maintenance and is basically idiot-proof. And if it can power climate control, an automated defense system, and a CNC machine at the same time, even better.
Yeah, that's too specific to be a random request, Cal.
Oh, it's not random, but it's classified. So, do you have something that can work? Or do we need to take Birdie into this conversation?
I could hack something together, but what you're talking about needs to be site-specific. And that's going to require Birdie's brain for a modular site-specific generator or custom builds for each classified location. So, if you want to keep it modular, we need Birdie.
This is the first time we hear of Birdie, Vic's sister. She is someone it sounds like we really need on our side. Someone like Claire Ortiz, an absolute technical genius. So where is she now? agents receive intel that Vic could be being held at the New Venice control point in the West End district of DC. The control point is completely full of the Suns Out Guns Out True Sun soldiers, but before signaling for JTF support, the agents greet the defenders using their festive weapon of choice, the O-Carol. Countering the JTF attack, the True Sons were never able to regain control of the complex, and will find themselves succumbing to the marksman fire in a hail of confetti and fireworks. Upon eliminating the last enemy, Agent Johnson alerted the agents to a confirmed sighting of Vic in the historic district.
You're going!
Confirmed sighting of Vic in the historic district.
We could have done that without you. Made it through!
Agents were able to track down a high-value target known as Alona Chipmunk Dakota. The Black Tusk officer had locked down this neighborhood with a large contingent of True Sons. Fighting through, between, and on top of the buildings, they would eventually meet up with Chipmunk. Rather than going down and meeting them on the street, the agents decided to keep spreading the Christmas cheer from above.
The target, Agent.
Once eliminated, a hostile comms was intercepted.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Why did you bring me here, Nat? You said you needed more fuel for your batteries. I do, but no one has delivered gas to the Riverside station in almost a year. Whatever is here is worthless.
It would be discovered that Vic was last seen at the Riverside station. The agents pack up their gear and quickly make their way to the site. The agents once again called in for support from the JTF. Taken by surprise, the True Sons on site rushed out onto the street, firing wildly in the direction of the agents. After taking out the leader, they were able to secure a defensive position above the building. From there, they were able to comfortably repel the hostile counterattack. Once the facility was secured, Agent Johnson could once again be heard over the comms.
They're not in cover!
Hostile broadcast
Changing
detected.
Got reports of Vic at the garage. You should check it out. Or not. I mean, does anyone really give a shit about Vic?
Heading down to the southeastern side of the district, the agents would follow another lead. Wasting no time, they ambushed the defending soldiers on the street. Entering below through the underground car park, they were greeted by another small group of True Sons, but it didn't take long to remove them. In fact, their mates in the next room didn't even hear all the fighting and were also caught by surprise. After clearing a few waves of support, the enemy leader would enter the fight. His entire bodyguard unit would be nice enough to line up and quickly drop to the agent for mass spam. Facing the agents one-on-one, the high-value target proved that he had obviously come into his position purely because of a lack of options from his superiors, as his offense could really only be described as sad and a little bit pathetic.
Scout spotted Vic with the recruiter at the bank.
So we're good then. Recruiter has Vic, and we get to take a well-deserved nap. I mean, do we really need Vic?
Target down. Good job.
Vic Melik's last known location was at the bank headquarters.
Rumor is Vic has a safety deposit box at the bank, and Sokolova wants whatever's inside it. I can't believe we're risking your life for Vic Melik.
The True Sons had a huge force on site. Agents would have to hunker down and slowly pick them off one by one. Once cleared, they would move on to the next section and greet them with a series of festive bursts. But this was just a distraction, and the agents soon found themselves being flanked. But this was brought under control, and they would quickly eliminate the defenders, including a Black Tusk officer, and continue moving through the facility towards the final target.
Right now!
Climbing to the upper levels, agents would be surprised to find hostiles that were oblivious to the attack playing out. Eventually they would find themselves in a room that they had once rescued a former President Ellis from. The True Sons had chosen this to be the place of their last stand.
I'm gonna waste every last one of you! Just lie down!
We got Vic. Agent, meet me at the castle. Then go get my sister Birdie.
So, I heard a rumor Nat did medical experiments on your pregnant girlfriend. Installed a mobile shade server killer in her uterus, and now everything is fucked.
I don't have time for your bullshit, Vic.
It's not bullshit. Nat took us all for a reason. She's recruiting. She's looking to expand her empire, and what greater get than the pregnant girlfriend of the last honorable man in D.C.? Mr. Accidental POTUS himself, Manny Ortega.
That's not funny, Vic.
Come on, Manny, you gotta lighten up. Your therapist will be very disappointed with you. When was your last session?
I don't have time for this. I need to find Birdie and figure out what's actually wrong with the server. And no, I do not believe that Natalya Sokolova replaced our baby with a device that can remotely kill a mobile shade server.
The first time the agents were introduced to the recruiter, it was during a mission at the Jefferson Trade Center, where he was there to observe Jack Bonney and assess whether he was appropriate as a new recruit for the Hunter program. Bonney, the Black Tusk, as well as the recruiter, would absolutely destroy Captain Lewis's True Sons. But despite Bonney's best efforts, he would eventually be killed by agents who stormed the compound. Watching everything play out, the recruiter would allow himself to be seen, but would disappear shortly after in a cloud of blue smoke. The recruiter wouldn't be heard from again until the rescue of John Yazzie. In this situation, it was just a passing message through a hostile comms that had been intercepted, where the recruiter handed Yazzie over to a Black Tusk operative. The last known sighting was at the end of the Murray Singh rescue. He didn't play any part in the conflict, but he could be seen standing above, watching, as the agents called in the extraction for Murray. The recruiter is working for Calvin McManus. His job is to find suitable replacements for the Hunter program. So why is he watching the agents so closely? Following the Vic Melik rescue, Johnson informs the agents that Vic's sister, Birdie, is being held by the recruiter at Camp White Oak, and he urges the agents to go in with support.
Agent, the recruiter is holding Birdie at Camp White Oak. After the attack on the White House, I don't want you going in there without support. Wally, we're gonna need the server.
It's not stable. There's been some interference. The range is limited.
Limited is better than leaving our agents without their tech.
You're right. You're right. Agent, I'll have Wally give John the server. He can get you a ride to Camp White Oak.
Agent, glad you can make it. When you land, leave the server and start a sweep. I'll get the server from Fernanda and cover you.
Agent Johnson? How did you get to White Oak so fast?
What are you talking about? I've been waiting for you. Who did you think located Birdie?
Oh, right. Sorry, guess I'm just getting a little paranoid with everything that's happened recently.
That's fair. Agent, as soon as you land, head for the bridge.
Agents push forward into the compound and were quickly greeted by automated defenses. Moving deeper into Camp White Oak, it was clear that the Black Tusk had taken the threat seriously. Their troops were defending large sections of the facility with seemingly no shortage of resource to be thrown into the fight.
Agent, something's wrong with the network. I activated the mobile shade server. Stay close. I don't know how much range this thing has.
System reactivated. Unable to access system. Re-establish proximity. System offline.
Agent, there's some kind of interference. Our comms still work, but we're losing access to the Shade tech. What the hell are you doing? What's happening? Your agent isn't following orders, and is gonna get us all killed. What orders? My orders. Agent, head to the bunker.
System restored.
This was a surprising and somewhat out-of-character message from Agent Johnson, but perhaps it's the stress of the situation, so Manny and the agent say nothing in response, and continue with the job at hand.
Hey, can y'all stop shooting? I'm trying to work here.
We need to get you to safety.
Oh, shit. This isn't a drill? Tell them to back the fuck off and stop shooting.
Birdie, who are you talking to?
Manny? What the hell is going on?
We're here to rescue you.
Rescue me? What the fuck are you talking about?
Black Tusk have you. Again.
No, they don't. Nat said we're working together now. Your agents brought me here.
What? Birdie, who brought you to Camp White Oak?
Your agent. You know, the one that looks like a fucking park ranger. Hey, Nat. How about you let me go with my brother and we call it even?
Even?
Yeah. I fixed your power supply issues and haven't killed anyone yet. So, how about you let me go, we leave with the server, and call it even.
The agents continue to fight through the hordes of Black Tusk, and would eventually find themselves closing in on the lodge.
Agent Johnson. Come in, Agent Johnson. The team on site has lost access to their tech. God damn it. Johnson, where are you?
So, I guess Johnson is an asshole. Thanks for the rescue, Agent.
Agent, clear Camp White Oak for extraction.
Where's the server?
Johnson has it.
Oh, that makes sense.
What does he want with the server, Birdie?
Nat is trying to build... I'll tell you later, this channel's not secure.
They've infiltrated our comms?
Your comms are their comms. Keep up, Manny.
Hey, so, Johnson, or, should I call you Mr. Recruiter?
What are you up to, Birdie?
Oh, nothing. Just hijacking your mortars for the opposition force. Figured with all of Cal's toys, it wasn't really a fair fight. Hey, Agent, get to the helipad before this asshole gets away with the server.
Do you have it?
Yes, Nat, I have the server. But Birdie blew my cover. Facing heavy opposition.
Time to suit up, Mr. Recruiter.
We are so fucked.
Hey, Vic. How did you get on this channel?
I told you, their comms are their comms. No one ever listens.
Vic, get off the comms. Go get a taco or something.
It was at this moment when the agents would learn that it was one of their own who was at the helm of the program that was responsible for the elimination of so many of their colleagues. But there was no time to dwell on this now. They needed to keep pushing forward before the recruiter, Agent Johnson, was able to get away with the mobile SHD server. The agents find themselves once again locked down by a seemingly unlimited number of hostiles defending the lodge. But through patience and stubbornness to admit that this was the wrong build to be bringing to this fight, they would slowly pull the defense apart and move towards the final target.
Nat, send the helo for extraction.
Copy that.
Agent, this is it. Hit them with everything you've got.
System curtailed. Weak points detected.
Agent, you know you're on the wrong side of this war, right? We serve at the pleasure of the President. We work for Homeland. We work for Cal. It doesn't matter if Isaac thinks you're on mission. The minute you allied with Kelso, you went rogue. You think I'm evil because I'm a hunter? We're the only ones still on mission. If an agent steps out of line, we're here to clean up the mess.
Can't deal with this shit.
System back online. System malfunctioning. System restored.
After a few practice runs,
President.
You can't beat him.
Pleasure of the President.
the agents knew exactly what to do and would rush in to put a stop to Johnson before he was able to get away with the mobile SHD server.
You can't beat him with shade tech.
Agents, you should listen to Birdie.
I can help you, but I need to take down the network.
You can't do that, Birdie.
Can't or won't? I definitely can. I just need to upload the countermeasure. Then none of you will have your little toys.
Again, through complete stubbornness and a willingness to see this through, agents would eventually figure out the massively overpowered recruiter attack pattern, and alongside Birdie's stripping of the network, they would slowly break down his armor. But over and over again, he would come back, breaking any obstacle Birdie would put in place. However, she had a backup plan.
Agent, you can't beat him with your tech. I have a workaround. Give me a minute.
Birdie, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it, Mr. Recruiter.
Birdie, you know me.
Huh. I know you're full of shit and will do anything for the mission.
Damn it, Birdie. You know what we're up against.
I do. Agent, get clear.
Birdie!
System malfunctioning.
Loser! Advancing on
System restored.
Oh, you're making a mistake! Clever girl. Oh, fuck.
Cal will be disappointed. Johnson was a special project of his. Too bad. He was a true patriot. Well, I suppose I should congratulate you. You took out Cal's favorite hunter and recovered your precious mobile shade server. Well done, Agent.
Is this all just a game to you?
Of course not. But I know when to cut my losses, regroup, learn from my mistakes, and come back stronger. Can you say the same, Manny?
This isn't over.
Of course not. Oh, send my best to Murray. She really is quite the spitfire. I can see why you fell for her. She is gonna be an excellent mother.
You two finished yet? I want to go home.
Torres, you're clear for extraction.
What did Nat want with the server?
Who?
Natalya Sokolova.
Who's that?
She's... Can you please stop messing with me?
Nope. You're too easy. You know, if you would have come for me first, I could have told you what she wanted with the server.
What the hell are you talking about?
Nat. I know what she wants with the servers.
Seriously?
Yeah. She wants them for her tech.
Could the Black Tusk really modify the server for their tech?
With the right code, anything is possible. You just have to find the right code, or the right coder.
Birdie, did you give her the right code?
Fuck no. That is not my area. You need a programmer, a hacker, someone who speaks those languages. You need a Wally or a Claire or a Myra, and a server. She would need a working server.
While we were there to rescue Birdie, she wasn't really being held captive. Birdie knows what Nat wants with the servers, to be able to use it for the Black Tusk tech. Fortunately, coding this to work for Nat isn't something that Birdie is able to do, because if she could've, she would've. It could be easy to assume that Birdie is an asshole or not to be trusted like her brother Vic, but there is more to the story. Birdie is obviously a driven individual, and as we heard in the Vic rescue, she is the brains of their operation. The thing that drives her is challenge, and this is something that Natalya was able to provide.
Birdie, you seem restless. Maybe a little bored?
I am bored.
Anything I can do to help combat the boredom?
A challenge?
Maintaining the bunkers isn't challenging enough for you?
It's not a challenge, Nat. It's a job. Jobs are boring. No matter how cool they are, once you learn how to do everything, it starts to get a little boring.
What kind of challenge are you looking for?
Don't worry, nothing illegal. Well, no more illegal than you and the Cabal boys are used to.
How may I challenge you, Birdie?
You remember that sim Claire was working on?
I do.
It sounded like fun. With a couple of mods, it could be a real challenge.
What kind of mods?
Evolve the area of effect. Give the dummies live rounds and see what happens.
I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, I've got schematics I'd like your opinion on.
How many people is this supposed to support?
As many as possible.
So I guess the question is, why is she helping Natalya? Birdie's thirst for challenge and the drive for the opportunity to fix problems in her areas of personal interest is what motivates her. The bigger stuff happening in the background, it holds no significance to her. On top of this, Natalya knows this and is manipulating her more gullible side.
Sup, bro? Birdie, you okay? You look okay. They didn't hurt you? Why would they hurt me? Because you were their... What the hell, Birdie? Nat had you captive for 6 months. Manny sends his civilian army to rescue you, because who the fuck knows where Kelso is, and all you have to say is, sup, bro? I'm fine. Your guys got me out of there. Mari made me a fish taco, and this place seems pretty chill, so... Yeah, sup, bro? I love you. I love you, too. I missed you bunches. What have you been up to? Oh, you know... Left to die, taken in by my mortal enemies, left to die, taken in by not-so-mortal enemies who also hate my mortal enemies. Dude, so Nat wasn't into you, you gotta let it go, man. That's not... She kidnapped you and made me into her battery bitch? Yeah, about that. Why didn't you just set up solar relays on the hovercrafts? 'Cause I didn't really want to help them. Oh, right. I probably shouldn't have converted their engines to electric then. My bad. You're really okay? Yeah, why wouldn't I be? Nat had me on all kinds of top-secret projects, never boring. You know what they say, a bored birdie is a dangerous birdie. Secret projects? Oh, yeah. You ever seen an underground city set up to wait out a nuclear winter? Can't say I have. Me neither. But the blueprints look promising.
On the other side of Natalya's manipulation of Birdie, we've now ended up with someone who has more information around what Natalya has been up to than ever before, including plans to create an underground city built to outlast a nuclear winter. Perhaps they were planning to use the nuclear football way back when Alice was alive. This was going to be their way of ensuring only those in favour with the new overlords would survive. Still, this seems a little bit over the top, so maybe this was just a backup plan, or we're still to hear more about this.
That should do it. You're done? Yeah. We set up solar panels and wind turbines, hooked them up to your relay, built a series of batteries to store the extra power in case of inclement weather, built a substation to redirect on days with too good conditions so we don't overload the system, and have 3 backup generators just in case. 1 diesel, retrofitted to use the dirty cooking oil from Mari's taco shop, 1 hydro on rainy days hooked up to the roof's drain pipes, and 1 people-powered, that is just a stationary bike, but that's really only good for making smoothies. You want a smoothie? No, I'm good. Margarita? Oh, yes, please. You've actually been to their headquarters? Oh, yeah, dozens of times. Shit kept breaking. Needed someone to get the AC back up and running. They really should have built them all below ground, above the water table. The pumps to keep the water out have a tendency to overheat the bunkers. How do you access the bunkers? Biometric lock. Do you have clearance? Me? No. I wish. Always had to have one of those BTSU brats accompany me. BTSU brats? You know, one of Nat's inner circle. Dolores, Jack, Galveston, Barden. Barden? Do you mean Barden Schaefer? Yeah, I think so. Been a while since I've seen him, come to think of it. Past couple months it's just been Jack. Huh. How did they get you into the bunker? Was it like a hand scanner or something? Hand, retinal, biorhythm, and voice confirmation. All 4 at the same time. Not that sophisticated really, but hard to fake if it's not the person. Especially the biorhythm. A couple of times Jack got us locked out for an hour until the system reset because he was too excited about something and his heart was beating too fast. So the person is the key.
Yeah, you could say that, but I don't think anyone would say it like that. Except you, Manny. You're like the most dad joke, non-dad person I've ever met.
Thank you, Birdie.
Dude, that's not a compliment.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. Manipulation of Birdie certainly gained Natalya a very helpful and useful individual, but it also exposed large areas of her organization to someone who didn't technically work for her. We can see where this is playing out. Just this information on its own shows how valuable Barton Schaefer will be if he ever wakes up. I'll admit, the recruiter being Agent Johnson was just a little bit of a disappointment to me to start with. Mostly because I'd picked him as being the most likely candidate since the very first target this season, and it only got more obvious as the rest of the season played out. Perhaps I was hoping for a bit of a curveball to be thrown out there. But in saying that, for him to be the most obvious choice means that the story is playing out in the way that it was meant to, in contrast to some of the other wacky theories I've come up with in other story arcs, due to perhaps unintended outcomes of certain interactions. However, there has been some extra intel that has been included in this season that actually shows us the events that led up to Johnson being recruited into the position of the recruiter. The comms I'm about to play lead on from the events that played out in the Extremis Malus comics. You certainly don't need to have read these to understand what's happening here, but if you wanted the full background to the story, I'll have a link to my coverage of these in the description.
Sir, we're approaching the coordinates. Should be in DC by nightfall. Agents Dunn and Ward seem pretty shaken up by the death of Mantis. Frankly, sir, I don't understand what happened back there. I don't know who took the shot or who would have killed her to keep her quiet. Cindy, can I talk to you for a second?
Sure, Agent Johnson. How can I help?
I wanted to talk to you about Agent Kelso's behavior back there.
Right. It was awesome.
It was reckless. She made a bomb out of moonshine.
Ha! An awesome bomb made out of moonshine.
She could have demolished the building.
But she didn't. And we got Odessa's daughter back. And we took out St. Alex. Win, and win.
How well do you really know Agent Kelso?
As well as anyone can know a coworker.
That's what she is to you? A coworker?
Yeah, what else would she be?
An agent of the division.
Of course. She's an agent. But she's also just a person.
And people make mistakes.
And agents go rogue all the time. So what? People can change.
That's what worries me.
You sure you're cut out for this?
I don't know if anyone is.
Well, I guess it's good to see that Cindy has always been crazy. But listen to what Johnson keeps saying about Kelso.
Agent Johnson. Secretary. Please, call me Cal. What can I do for you, Cal? I heard about Mantis and your little tiff with a drone operator about Agent Kelso. I wouldn't call it a tiff, sir. I wanted to commend you for speaking the truth. Yes, we recruited you and trained you, but we never really prepared for a situation like this. How could we even begin to predict something like this would ever happen? We were never supposed to be activated. You were a fail-safe, on a fail-safe, on an insurance policy, on a catastrophe that was never supposed to happen. And as this was never supposed to happen, some people, some bad actors, were allowed in the henhouse, so to speak. People like Agent Kelso? People like Agent Keener in New York. What is this about, sir? Cal, please. I need your help, Agent Johnson. Your president, your country, needs your help. You wanted to talk to me? Just wanted to check in and see how you're holding up. I'm okay. Keeping busy so I don't lose myself. Sometimes, it's easier to stay focused on the task at hand so we can complete the mission. We need surgeons. The steady hand who can get the job done. I don't know how many people still fit that description, Cal. Oh, I can think of one. You're steady, Brian. I think you may be the surgeon I need to finally excise this tumor. Thank you for the vote of confidence. We never should have made her an agent. Agent Kelso? Agent Lau. She was in the right place at the right time. She used her position to press her own agenda. I don't know what she's up to, but she is not interested in the continuity of government. How else do you explain her vendetta against Keener? I can't explain it. But I want to help contain the damage they could all do. If you really want to help, Brian, if you're ready to take back control, I've got a new assignment for you. But I need you to promise me you'll keep an open mind and not believe everything you've heard about Natalya Sokolova.
Like we heard in the final mission there, Agent Johnson is all about getting the mission done. Cal is talking about every other agent that has betrayed the division, but Johnson really wants to believe Kelso was responsible for doing something wrong. Shit, he sounds like me 2 years ago, except without all the videos. Brian is an absolute Boy Scout, and Cal used this unwavering attitude and loyalty to drive him into doing whatever was asked of him. So he made the perfect head of a unit that would be used to control the actions of certain SHD agents who may have strayed from their mission. Let's just replay the message from Brian Johnson at the beginning of his fight scene.
Nat, send the helo for extraction.
Copy that.
Agent, this is it. Hit them with everything you've got.
System curtailed. Weak points detected.
Agent, you know you're on the wrong side of this war, right? We serve at the pleasure of the President. We work for Homeland. We work for Cal. It doesn't matter if Isaac thinks you're on mission. The minute you allied with Kelso, you went rogue. You think I'm evil because I'm a hunter? We're the only ones still on mission. If an agent steps out of line, we're here to clean up the mess.
This single interaction has confirmed so many different things that we've been talking about over the months and even years. The hunters are agents. Their job is to remove agents who have gone off mission. Agent Johnson wasn't necessarily bad. He was just following his interpretation of the mission in a different way to us. I touched on this a few times through the manhunt. Being rogue doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as it used to. Regardless of how he got there, Cal could be the next in line, and even if he wasn't, he's the most senior member of leadership that we are aware of that is still alive. On the other side, we know how he got there and what he's been doing with Natalya and the Black Tusk, but technically we're not reporting to anyone. We're the rebels in this situation. So where do I think everything is going from here? Well, we know that Season 3 is going to be back in New York, and given how often her name has been brought up through this mission and season, Kelso is likely to play a prominent role. There have been a ton of accusations being thrown at her. Accusations that people like myself have been dishing out for years. But if I was a betting man, I would say that the only thing she'll be proven guilty of in the upcoming season is that she is young and a little bit chaotic. This season started at a relatively moderate pace, similar to previous ones. But by the end, we learned more than the last couple of seasons combined. With Birdie now rescued, we know more about Natalya's goals and the Black Tusk infrastructure than ever before. However, I get the feeling that we'll be having a small break from progressing this story arc. Named Vanguard, Season 3 will have us going back to New York. Vanguard being Aaron Keener's call sign. We will be discovering more about what our favourite antagonist was about, leading up to his death at the end of Warlords of New York. On top of this, I believe we'll be hearing more about what Agent Kelso has been up to, and why she left DC for New York. This has been a compilation of Year 5, Season 2. If you've made it this far, I hope you've been able to follow, as there's been a lot playing out this season. But just sing out in the comments if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching, and Extremis Malus, Extrema Media.